Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It's David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, I'll be giving you my preview / predictions for this weekend's Daytona 500. The clash for Daytona at the road course will be tonight. I won't be able to watch that, unfortunately, but I should be able to watch the duel, which I think is going to be on Thursday, so that'll be a good thing to see. But in terms of the Daytona 500 now, there's a lot of drivers. Daytona 500 is an unpredictable race. I mean, it's a super speedway track. It's a play track. Play tracks are unpredictable. You can't really tell who's going to win this race. But looking at the stats, there's actually one favorite that I should have on my list that should be my top pick to win the Daytona 500. That is actually not my top pick. But let's get into the best average finishes at Daytona for the last 10 years among active drivers. So Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, all these guys don't count, because if they were on there, they would definitely have better average finishes than most of these guys. So who has the best average finish at Daytona in the past 10 years? Well, he's the guy that's won it 3 times in the past 6 years. That is Mr. Denny Hamlin, who's won the Daytona 500 3 times in the past 6 years. Of course, he's defending 2-time Daytona 500, well, 3-time defending Daytona 500. But what I mean by 2-time, I mean he wanted the back-to-back years, 2019 and 2020, even though 2019 is really debatable. I'm going to be honest, Denny Hamlin should not be a 3-time Daytona 500 champion, because he's gotten big breaks with the past 2 years that he's won the Daytona 500. Because in 2020, it should have really been Ryan Blaney that should have beat Denny Hamlin in that race, or at least Ryan Newman that should have beat Denny Hamlin in that race. And in 2019, bruh, the only reason Denny Hamlin won this race is because they wanted to be a special moment for J.D. Gibbs and Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle Busch should have won that race. I keep saying this. Kyle Busch should have won the 2019 Daytona 500, but that's just me. But the best average finish for Denny Hamlin in any Daytona race so far in the past 10 years, Denny Hamlin has an average finish of 13.1. Second is Ryan Newman with an average finish of 13.5. Now, these two drivers are the only two drivers that have actually been driving for the past 10 years. The other ones have come into the sport. Well, actually, No, he hasn't been driving. He hasn't been racing for the last 10 years in the Cup Series. The other drivers, they haven't been in Cup Series for more than 10 years. I'd probably say they haven't been more in the Cup Series for more than 8 years. Number 3 is Alex Bowman with the 15.0. So his best average finish in the Daytona races is 15th. Kyle Larson is 4th with the average finish of 15.4. Eric Almirola has an average finish of 16.4. And the number 6 best overall finish in Daytona is Austin Dillon, which is actually surprising because those names are probably names I would not expect to hear it on the list. Hamlin, I definitely expect. Of course, he's won 3 in the last 6 years, so why wouldn't he be up there in the last 10 years? Newman Newman for a time he was what? I don't even know what teams Newman's been in for the past 10 years. Bowman's really only been racing competitive in the Cup Series for the past 4 years now. Larson's been in NASCAR since 2014, so he's been racing for about 6 years. Almirola, he's been racing, I think, since probably actually 2012, so about 8 years. Austin Dillon, same thing. I think he came in a year before Larson, or same year as Larson, so basically same deal with Larson. He's been racing for the same amount of years. But going from the best average finish being 13.1 to the 6th best average finish being 16.7, that's really tight when it comes to average finishes. Now, when it comes to the past Daytona 500 winners in the past few races, Hamlin won the 2020 Daytona 500. I've already talked about that. Hamlin won the 2019 Daytona 500, and we all remember the 2018 Daytona 500 where Austin Dillon dumped Eric Almirola to win this race, and it was on the anniversary when Dale Earnhardt won his first Daytona 500, so that was a good thing to see. Kurt Busch with a special moment, getting his first plate win and winning the 2017 Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin beating Martin Truex Jr. in what was the tied for the closest finish in NASCAR history, 2/1000 of a second, being Martin Truex Jr. to win the 2016 Daytona 500. And of course, Jeff Gordon's last Daytona 500, which was the 2015 Daytona 500, which was won by the guy I don't really like, and that was Joey Logano. So taking a look at this, you would probably think that Hamlin would be my number one pick. Hamlin would be my top pick. But that's the thing. Even though Hamlin does have the best average finish, even though Hamlin has won the past 3 out of the 6 Daytona 500s, you can't predict anything when it comes to the Daytona 500 because who knows? Denny Hamlin can end up getting involved in a wreck within the first 10 laps and he could be out of the race. And then the stats don't really back up anything. You have to look at who's probably going to be a favorite to this and who's good on super speedway tracks. So the most obvious favorites when it comes to super play tracks, it's going to be Penske Racing with Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. Brad Keselowski hasn't won a Daytona 500 yet. Joey Logano is the only Penske driver to win the Daytona 500 since Ryan Newman did in 2008. And Joey Logano's Daytona 500 win was 5 years ago. It was 5 years ago. So that tells you how long it has been. Well, 6 years ago. Sorry, 6 years ago because I said past 6 and Joey Logano was number 6. But if I had to give my top 5 picks, if I had to give 5 picks for me to win the Daytona 500, my top 3 out of 5 before I get into the last... Actually, you know what? We're going to go from 5 down to 1. My number 5 pick for the 2021 Daytona 500 is going to be Joey Logano. Joey Logano, I saw the stats. Joey Logano has actually had the 7th best average finish among active drivers at Daytona. So he's going to be very much up there. Obviously, he raced for Penske. Penske have really good play tracks when it comes to Daytona or Talladega. Ryan Blaney's only win last year was at Talladega, so it's going to be a good day for Penske, but I don't think it's going to be a Penske car that ends up winning this Daytona 500. At number 4, we have Kyle Larson, who's never won the Daytona 500, but like I said, he does have the 4th best average finish at Daytona with the 15.4. And imagine if Kyle Larson ends up winning the Daytona 500 in his first race, 400 Motorsports. That would be such a special moment for Kyle Larson because it's like you missed most of the NASCAR season last year due to suspension, you come back, and the first official race of the NASCAR season, you go out and win, and you prove to everyone that you can win in a good, you could be a top contender in a very good team like Hendrick Motorsports. That's why I have Kyle Larson as my number 4 pick when it comes to this race. My number 3 pick is the last person to win at the Daytona track. If you guys remember, it was the last race of the regular season, and that was Mr. William Byron. William Byron is my number 3 pick. Even though William Byron hasn't been that much Daytona races, William Byron has a very good finish. Had very good finishes at Daytona. He's been racing since, 2018, 2019? I think his first season was 2018. And William Byron's been getting better at the play tracks. Of course, when he debuted, he wasn't that very good at play tracks because it's a lot different from Xfinity when he goes to Cup Series. But William Byron has definitely improved when it comes to Cup Series at Daytona. So that's why I have William Byron at my number 3 pick. My number 2 pick for this year's Daytona 500 is the defending champion of the Daytona 500, and that is Mr. Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, I'm actually very surprised. A lot of people would probably be very surprised that Denny Hamlin is not my number 1 pick to win the Daytona 500. But that's because there's a bigger story going into my number 1 pick and what it would mean for him to finally get this Daytona 500 win. And if you guys can pick up on that, if you guys can pick up on what I said, then you guys would definitely really, really know that my number 1 pick to win the 2021 Daytona 500 is none other than the driver of the number 18 Toyota, Mr. Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has been racing in NASCAR for at least 13 years now, and he has not won the Daytona 500 yet. This is going down the Dale Earnhardt storyline. Hopefully it doesn't end up how the Dale Earnhardt storyline did. But it took 20 years of trying for Dale Earnhardt to win his first Daytona 500. I really hope it doesn't take that long for Kyle Busch to win a Daytona 500. That's why I'm going to say, this is my prediction. I'm going to predict Kyle Busch to win again. Like I said a few seconds ago, I'm going to predict Kyle Busch to win the 2021 Daytona 500 and start his dominance, because I think this is going to be a very good year for Kyle Busch and that number 18 Toyota. Even though the number 18 team moves to the 20 team and the 20 team moves to the 18, I'm going to say Kyle Busch is definitely going to end up winning this race, and Kyle Busch is going to get his first Daytona 500 victory. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.